The restaurant shimmered beneath golden chandeliers, its air filled with soft whispers of luxury. Every table was dressed in pristine white silk, every chair occupied by people who belonged to a world powered by wealth and influence. And right at the heart of it all sat a young woman in a worn sweater, clutching her small purse as if it were her lifeline. Her name was Leia, the maid's daughter. She had spent weeks saving for this evening, a $4 blind date in a place where even a glass of water cost more. Her hands trembled as she checked her phone, hoping her nervous smile could hide the fear behind it. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that restore faith in humanity, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Thread. Your support helps us spread more stories that remind the world there's still good out there. Leia had grown up watching her mother scrub marble floors and wash dishes for the wealthy families of Crestwood Heights. Each day she saw elegant women step out of their mansions wearing perfume worth more than her mother's yearly salary. Yet her mother never complained. She would always tell Leia, "Never be ashamed of where you come from, only if you stop trying." Those words became Leia's armor, through mockery, rejection, and endless struggle. So, when a coworker at the cafe where she worked offered to set her up on a blind date, Leia hesitated, but eventually said yes. For once she wanted to feel normal, to laugh, to belong. She wore her best, a black sweater borrowed from a friend, and a red tie her mother had lovingly ironed, whispering that she looked like a movie star. But the moment she stepped into that glittering restaurant, she felt completely out of place. Her date hadn't arrived yet, and she could already feel the icy stares judging her thrifted clothes and shaking hands. The waiters smiled politely, but their eyes gave away quiet disdain. She sipped her water slowly, trying to stretch her time there without ordering anything too expensive. In her purse were exactly $4.27, the sum of her weekly savings. At the next table sat Adrian Vale, the only son of one of the city's most powerful billionaires. He was used to false charm and shallow conversation, people who wanted his last name, not his heart. But tonight, his attention wasn't on business. It was on the lonely girl by the window, nervously twisting her napkin, still hoping her date might walk through that door. There was something painfully genuine about her, something that didn't belong in that polished, glittering world. Minutes slipped into an hour. The restaurant's lively hum faded to silence as Leia realized her date wasn't coming. Her smile wavered, and tears threatened to escape. She didn't want to cry there, not in front of people who already saw her as less. She picked up her purse and called for the bill, hoping to leave before anyone noticed her humiliation. But someone had. Adrian quietly told the waiter to bring her check to his table. When Leia reached for her purse, the waiter said softly, "It's already taken care of, miss." She looked around, confused, until her eyes met Adrian's. He gave her a gentle nod, not out of pity, but of quiet kindness, the kind that said, "I see you. You deserve better than this." Her cheeks burned with gratitude and embarrassment. She mouthed a shy thank you and hurried out before her tears could fall. Out in the cold night, she felt both humiliated and strangely touched. She didn't know who that man was, and she certainly didn't expect to see him again. But Adrian couldn't stop thinking about her. Despite his wealth, he too knew loneliness. Everyone wanted something from him, but never for him. By the next morning he'd found out who she was, the maid's daughter from one of his family's estates, the same place where his mother's loyal housekeeper Rosa had worked for years. That weekend, when Adrian visited the property, he saw Leia sweeping the marble stairs beside her mother. Her head was down, her movements quiet. He hesitated, then walked up and thanked Rosa for her years of service. Turning to Leia, he said softly, "You have a good heart. Don't hide it." She was stunned. The son of her mother's employer speaking kindly to her felt unreal. In the weeks that followed, Adrian began visiting the cafe where she worked. He'd order simple coffee and sit quietly, watching her handle rude customers with calm grace. Eventually, they began to talk, first awkwardly, then easily. Leia discovered that Adrian wasn't arrogant or entitled. He admired her perseverance. She told him she didn't need sympathy, she needed opportunity, and he gave her one. Adrian helped her apply for a scholarship through his family's foundation, a program rarely publicized. Leia hesitated, thinking she didn't deserve it, but Adrian insisted. Talent deserves a chance, not just privilege. Months later, a letter arrived that changed everything. She had been awarded a full scholarship to study business and management. When she told her mother, they both wept. Tears of disbelief, pride, and gratitude. Soon, word spread across the Vale household. The maid's daughter had won a scholarship, and the billionaire's son had helped her. Many whispered that Adrian had lost his mind, that his kindness was misplaced. But Adrian didn't care. He saw in Leia something the world had forgotten, a dignity no amount of money could buy. Years later, Leia graduated at the top of her class. She built not just a new life but a legacy. She founded an organization to help underprivileged women find education and jobs. She called it the Second Chance Project. It was inspired by the moment a stranger's kindness changed her destiny. At the launch event, Adrian stood beside her, not as a billionaire's son, but as a proud friend who had believed in her when no one else did. Because sometimes, kindness doesn't come as grand gestures. Sometimes, it's a quiet act, paying for someone's meal, offering a word of encouragement, giving someone the chance to stand tall again. Leia's story wasn't about money or status. It was about what happens when compassion crosses the boundaries of class and pride. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Thread. Every click helps us spread stories that remind the world good people still exist. And tell us in the comments, what's one act of kindness you'll never forget? Because sometimes, all it takes is one small act of kindness to change someone's entire world.